In the bustling suburb of Meadowbrook, there was a woman named Ava Saunders. To everyone who knew her, Ava was a superhero in disguise. A mom of 3, a dedicated nurse, and a community volunteer who somehow managed to make everything look effortless. Her kids called her Supermom, and her friends often wondered how she did it all. But behind Ava's bright smile and perfectly managed schedule, she was crumbling. Every morning, she woke before dawn to pack lunches, get the kids ready for school, and squeeze in a workout before her shift at the hospital. Her evenings were filled with homework help, dinner prep, and late-night emails. Weekends were no better. Soccer games, bake sales, and errands consumed her time. She rarely paused, convinced that her worth was tied to how much she accomplished for others. But lately, her body had been sending warning signs. Her shoulders ached, her back tensed, and headaches had become a daily occurrence. She ignored them, pushing through the pain with the mantra, "Keep going. They need you." One night, after finally putting the kids to bed, Ava sank onto the couch. Her mind buzzed with unfinished tasks, but exhaustion pulled her into sleep. And that's when she dreamed. In her dream, Ava found herself in a cluttered room, filled with to-do lists, laundry piles, and flashing alarms. At the center of the chaos stood a man, tall, with a calm demeanor and a peculiar pocket watch. It was Cyrus, the time-traveling mentor she had read about in a story. "Ava," Cyrus said gently, "you've been carrying too much for too long. It's time to set some of it down." Ava blinked. "But I can't. If I don't do it all, who will?" Cyrus gave her a kind smile. "You think being a superhero means doing everything alone. But even heroes need help. And sometimes the greatest act of strength is asking for it." He pointed to the pocket watch in his hand. "Time is precious, Ava. You've been giving it away to everyone else, but when was the last time you kept some for yourself?" Ava looked around the room. Each flashing alarm seemed to represent a responsibility she had taken on, many of which she hadn't even realized were weighing her down. She reached out and silenced one of the alarms. Then another. And another. With each click, the room grew calmer. As she worked, Cyrus began offering bits of advice. "Perhaps you should start by boiling your children's clothes in vinegar and lye. That's how we used to do it in the 1800s. Keeps them clean and sturdy." Ava stopped mid-click and gave him a look. "You're kidding, right?" Cyrus chuckled. "Ah, yes. Outdated. But it worked in my time." He pointed to another alarm. "Now this one. It represents that always say yes mentality. You might want to silence that one immediately." Ava laughed as she clicked off the alarm. "Finally, some advice I can actually use." When she woke the next morning, Ava felt a shift within her. The aches in her body were still there, but she understood now that they weren't just physical. They were the weight of too much. That day, Ava did something she hadn't done in years. She asked for help. She delegated tasks at work, let her kids make their own lunches, and called a friend to carpool to soccer practice. And for the first time in a long time, Ava sat down with a cup of tea and simply breathed. As the weeks passed, Ava found balance in small ways, taking short walks, saying no to unnecessary commitments, and embracing the idea that she didn't have to do everything perfectly. But, in her dream, Ava silenced all the alarms except for one. It continued to ring softly in the background. When she asked Cyrus about it, he smiled. "That one is your reminder to take care of yourself. It's the most important alarm of all." Ava kept that in mind as she woke. Every day, she made sure to take time for herself, understanding that self-care wasn't selfish, it was essential. Self-evaluation questionnaire. Do you often feel like you need to do everything yourself? How does that affect your well-being? What warning signs has your body or mind been giving you to slow down? How can you begin to ask for help or delegate responsibilities in your daily life? If you had a visitor like Cyrus, what advice do you think they would give you about your work-life balance? What small change can you make today to create more balance and prioritize your well-being? Take a moment to reflect. Are you ready to silence some of those alarms and make time for yourself?